Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be reading through Liv's coding story today, and got the Chinese dub on, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And I'm honestly really love this skin, and I really can't wait to see where this goes. So let's go. Let's hop into it. Whispering Forest. This is where the forest seems to be mumbling as the breeze gently ruffles the leaves. In the absence of all the usual passerby, the quiet hallway appears more frigid than ever with the cold lights that illuminate the place. Standing alone in the middle of a passageway for a good few moments, you finally remember what you came to do here. It's about what I'm going to do after graduating. Walking down the same passageway you've taken too many times, you reach that certain office you can't be more familiar with before you know it. Right before you press the doorbell, however, you hear a weighty voice coming from inside the room. Oh, is this like from before us, the commandant, graduated? Oh, wow. Oh. 3 green flashes later, the electronic lock unlocks, allowing the alloy door to part to either side. Good day, sir. Walking into the minimally decorated office, you see the man shutting off the sand table he was using for planning.
找你来是准备谈谈你的毕业去向。
Okay. Interesting voices, like the voice acting so far. He says without a moment's hesitation.
我不会干涉你的选择，但作为教官，我需要知道你这么做的理由。为什么拒绝了指挥部的邀请，而申请了前线执行部队指挥官的名额？
The shrewd eyes staring right at you now are the same eyes that have been watching every single student since you've entered the school. You sense neither encouragement nor discontent from his tone, but solemnness and gravity. There's no doubt that those eyes will see right through any petty lies and excuses you come up with. Because you can feel the world shaking violently as you open your mouth to speak. Oh? Who's that? And then darkness ensues. Oh, so it was a dream. Okay. Opening your eyes, you find yourself in the lounge with Liv standing right next to you. Looking at you with a worried expression, she has one hand on your shoulder while holding a medical device with the other. The screen on the table shows a report in the making. The first half of it seems normal enough, but the second half is littered with strings of garbled letters and symbols. A telltale sign that whoever was typing landed on the keyboard with their face. Was that us? Rubbing your slightly numb face, you return your gaze to Liv.
指挥官，你怎么在这里睡着了？是因为太累了吗？
Oh, I love her Chinese voice. I actually never heard her voice in Chinese in the CN dub, but I actually really like it. Don't worry, I was just taking a nap. None of the words put Liv's mind at ease. You put up your hands in defeat, seeing Liv all concerned about you. And I thought I'd have a few checkups done too. Liv, can I ask you to do me a favor?
那么请将头向后靠一点，记得放轻松。
Wow. Completing the checkup in a breeze, Liv lets out a sigh of relief. Is everything good?
是的，不过建议指挥官还是早点休息比较好。
Man, she's so sweet, man. Bro, she's so freaking pure and sweet, dude. Liv nods at you. But I've still got work to do.
那么就让我来协助接下来的文书工作。早点完成的话，指挥官也能提前休息。
Now your mind rehab session for the day. Now, your mind rehab session for the day.
已经完成了。指挥官才是，今天的康复训练没有迟到吧？
She's so cute. She's blushing a little bit. Of course not. With it, both you and Liv break into a wry smile. For the time being, neither of you is in any condition to fight. What with the degeneration of your muscles and the occasional migraines occurring in Liv's mind. So this happens after chapter 17. Okay. Okay. With the help of an exoskeleton, you've taken part in a few non-combat assignments, except such assignments don't come by every day. And an exoskeleton is but a short-term solution in the broader picture of making a full recovery. The war has turned white hot, and you know for a fact that Lucia and Lee are far too competent and they can't stay in Babylonia with Liv and you. You want to be at the front line fighting with the team, but decided to stay behind to perform desk work while rehabilitating instead, after being convinced by them.
也不知道李先生和露西亚怎么样了。
To cause no hiccups to the war, Lee and Lucia always make it a point to only contact you when they're back at their base for maintenance. According to them, they've seen small-scale victories in their combat zone. You just have to trust them. And we need to try our best in what we can do. Having worked off the negative vibes, you find yourself concentrating once again on the report. Then as you go ahead to delete the string of garbled letters and symbols with the delete key, you reach out for the coffee cup sitting right next to you. Yet much to your surprise, you touch a warm, soft hand instead of a coffee cup.
指挥官，还是喝点其他的吧。
Oh? Liv passes you a different cup. Giving off white steam, the cup has amber-colored tea sitting in it instead. What's
这
this?
是不含咖啡因的香草茶，你今天摄入的咖啡因已经到达180毫克，出于健康考虑，不应该再过多摄入了。
Damn, 180 milligrams? Although granted, I don't really know what that means, considering the fact that I don't drink coffee, so... Or tea, I'll be honest, so... Don't really know what that means. But I'm assuming that's not healthy. But... That isn't, like, also too bad either. So... Yeah. Liv explains in a serious tone, probably best to listen to the expert here since she's the one taking care of the team's health. Taking a sip of the tea, you can taste the warm fragrance of the liquid making its way down your throat before it reaches your chest and blossoms, instantly easing you of most of the pent-up fatigue from work. Liv, on the other hand, has taken a seat across from you and begun sorting through the remaining reports. The faintly glowing screen, the sound of keystrokes, the fragrance of the tea, and Liv working away at the reports. The room is quiet and peaceful, seemingly having nothing save for these left in it. It's been so long since you last felt the same ease of mind.
指挥官，这份报告有些地方还需要你确认。
Sure.
"这就是最后一份了。
You go over the report before signing your ID number on it. The whole process of sorting through documents was supposed to take you through the entire afternoon, yet here you are, having reached the end of it in under 2 hours, with the two of you working on it. Boy, that was fast. Pouring tea into the now empty cup, Liv appears out of it as she keeps her eyes fixated on the global warfare map. What are you looking
我
for?
在找露西亚和李先生他们的位置。
Aww, she's so cute.
毕竟昨晚的通讯我错过了。
Always the worry wart, man. Liv is always the worry wart. Worry wart. But I like that. Wouldn't have it any other way, though. I love that. It's not your fault, though. An episode of migraine hit Liv out of the blue right before Lucy and Lee dialed in last night, plugging her mind, which hasn't even made a full recovery yet, into an extremely... plunging her mind, which hasn't even made a full recovery yet, into an extremely unstable state. After stabilizing her condition with the cable, you carried a deep mind connection. Yeah. After stabilizing her connection with the cable you carried and a deep mind connection, you managed to establish before things went out of hand. You put on your exoskeleton and ran up to the Star of Life with Liv in your arms. Liv was still under treatment when Lucy and Lee dialed in. Based on where they were calling from last night. Staff list, resource provision, and engagement status. All the information about a certain base pops up when you put your finger on it. It should be here. Lucia and Lee's names are on the staff list, with 2 short lines preceding their names respectively. Oh, my bad. Frame damage 15.32%. Infection percent 0.00%. Based on their battle report, the two seem to have found a branch of the Red Tide on their own without the warning of a support-type construct. They put indicating beacons in place during their battle with the hetero creatures. While the beacons had only a minimal effect in guiding the garrison at the base, they managed to sever the branch with their accurate attacks all the same. Aw, Liv. Liv keeps her eyes fixated on the very first line of the report. It briefly mentions the resources the base needs more of, with a special note stating that all squads are in need of help from support-type constructs. I'm sure you'll be able to get back there in no time.
指挥官是指远程深度链接的改进吗？
The deep mind connection helps to stabilize the migraine coming from Liv's mind, and Asimov is working with the rest of his team to figure out a way to establish the connection remotely without a cable. Asimov said we'll be giving it a try soon, right? Grey Raven will be back on the road whole as soon as we have that technical barrier taken care of. Nodding her head, however, Liv suddenly looks troubled with what seems to be an abrupt thought.
对了，指挥官，虽然教授建议你多运动，但是指挥官在完全康复前，还是不要过多申请地面任务比较好。
Force majeure. Let's go with that. Liv's eyebrows frown slightly at your reply. But lucky for you, Liv raises another question, letting go of the
接
subject.
下来要怎么安排呢？
About that. Liv means well, but it's no doubt much too early for you to hit the hay now. You finished your rehab session for the day in the morning, but you have to make an appointment a day in advance if you want to get to your next session. You have no idea what to do. I don't know, Liv. Got any plans?
我吗？我也暂时还没考虑过。如果指挥官也没安排的话。
With the ringing of a call filling up the room, you and Liv stop in your tracks. When you take the call, a hologram of Asimov appears.
你现在在哪里？
Ooh, Asimov voice, let's go! Asimov voice again, let's go! Let's go, Asimov voice again. We'd love to see it. In the
如
lounge.
果手上没有很重要的工作，就先终止。来一趟科学理事会。
With bags darker than ever under his eyes, Asimov speaks in a serious tone. Oh?
在通讯里不太能解释清楚，等你到了实验室我会说明。记得带上利弗。
Liv is surprised at the mention of her name.
利弗也在你身边，和他一起过来吧。
Alright. And with it, Asimov hangs up.
阿西莫夫先生找我们是有什么事呢？
I have no clue, but I bet it's something important. You rise from your seat, taking a moment to really appreciate the fact that you're now in much less pain thanks to all your rehab sessions and nutritional management.
指挥官，需要我帮忙吗？
What should I choose? Let's go with sure. With the support of Liv and a crutch, you make it to Asimov's lab.
礼服，你不要太惯着这人啦。
Hey, Hippocrates' voice too! Let's go! Ooh, I actually like her Hippocrates' voice, CN voice. I like it. At the lab, you see Hippocrates.
教授，
It's none other than Hippocrates, the very person responsible for training you and Liv. Standing right behind her is Asimov, who keeps his eyes fixated, who's keeping his eyes fixated on the screen in front of him as strings of complicated-looking readings and charts flash past. Why are they working together when they're from different departments? Wait.
看你的表情，应该是已经猜到叫你和利弗过来的原因了。
Does it have to do with the Imperial frame?
没错，放置在极昼机体里的意识海监测探针传回了一些数据。阿西莫夫正在对他们进行可视化处理。这些数据，
Stopping in her tracks, Hippocrates looks back and forth between you and Liv.
很不寻常。
完成了。
Looking up, Asimov turns the screen this way, which now shows a bird's eye view of a dense forest. What's this?
我从头开始说明。首先，你应该还记得寻回利弗意识碎片的经历吧？
Of course. After bringing Liv to safety, you fill them in on what you've gone through, missing not so much as the most minute of details, with the hope that they'd turn out helpful with repairing Liv's mind.
当时你找到了我们未曾发现的第7块意识碎片，在将意识转移回实案机体后，我们会定时用不同频率的信号对极昼机体进行扫描。
Wait, could it
没
be?
错，虽然信号反馈微弱到可以忽略，但它确实是属于利弗的一部分。
Oh, so so the Dreamcatcher skin is basically, so it's a mind. The Dreamcatcher skin is actually a mind shard of Liv. Oh, that's interesting.
不过，从探针传回的数据来看，它的信息波段很特殊，更接近一种。
Asimov is trying to come up with a more appropriate layman-friendly word.
这里就让我来解释吧。我先举个简单的例子。你还记得你昨天在康复中心从多少人身边经过吗？
Might as well ask me how many rolls of bread I've ever had. I'm gonna go with that. That's gonna be funny.
哦，你会记得吗？那我倒想好好研究一下了。
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh crap. Hippocrates is gonna kill us, bro. I would be damned if I did.
人的意识并不会将所有收集到的信息都记录下来，有些事情虽然确实经历或者设想过，却不会在记忆中留下深刻的痕迹。
就像教授说的那样，这段数据也与之类似，属于被意识忽视、遗忘，或者说拒绝的部分。
Oh.
根据对反馈信号波形的分析，可以大致推测出映射这片森林的意识碎片的位置。
Asimov enlarges the window to the extent that it almost takes up the entire screen. Right in the center of the screen now stands the silhouette of a spire, with scarlet plants running along its length. It's the punishing
伴有很
virus.
轻微的感染，但并不意味可以忽略。所以需要你和利弗一起帮忙清除污染，并进行调查回收。
One thing though. Worried, you turn to look at Liv, who you know shouldn't be risking herself over a mission like this with her mind still making a recovery.
指挥官，不用担心， 我没有问题的。
我知道你在担心什么，你们的安全始终是我们第一个要考虑的。这次与上次不同，现在我们有充足的时间来做准备。阿西莫夫为此编写了保险扳机程序。
Oh, my bad.
一旦情况失控，扳机就会启动，将你们强行唤醒。如果你们判断现场情况不适合继续调查，也可以主动使用扳机，这不会对你们的意识造成伤害，但我们就只能放弃这块碎片了。
Why does it have to be Liv though?
之所以选择你们两人，还有另一层考虑。这块碎片与潜意识类似，都是构成意识海底层的部分。
Oh. So it's oh, okay. That's actually oh, that's interesting.
你们在其中一起行动的数据反馈，对于深度思维链接技术的改进，同样能起到很大帮助。
Oh, my bad. Finishing your sentence, Hippocrates' face turns
不
uneasy.
过这种样本，不要再来第二次了。
我还有一个问题，
Oh, the mic quality. I heard that mic quality. Sensing the negative vibes in the air, Liv speaks out.
什么问题？
我要怎么和指挥官一起进入我自己的意识碎片？
阿西莫夫为你编写了专用的潜入程序，你先随他去做调试吧。至于这个指挥官，会在你调试完成后再进行潜入。
是，指挥官，我们等会儿见。
After waving goodbye at you, Liv makes her way to the mine diving chamber following Asimov. Then right when you try to stand up with your crutch, you are forced to sit back down.
伊
Professor?
夫本人在意识碎片中，可能会受到一定程度的影响，
What do you mean?
有可能是意识形象上的，也可能是性格上的。具体还得看这块意识碎片究竟是利弗的哪一部分。毕竟从某种意义上来说，这也算是一种深入自己的内心。所以照看他的事就拜托你了。
Oh boy. I can tell that look is like, you better not F up, bro. Like, you better not F up. Hippocrates pats you on the shoulder. No longer feeling weightless, you can feel the rough bark of a tree against your back as you slowly open your eyes and take in the fragrance of the mud and budding grass. Filtering through the leaves above, the sunlight feels like a gentle touch to your skin, and the crisp call of birds coming from between the trees travel the valleys in the distance. Feeling a fluffy lump on the back of your hand, you look down and see that there's a chubby chipmunk sitting on it. Then, as though an invisible string were severed, the forest is quiet no more. Turning into a furball, the chipmunk rolls off the back of your hand before it disappears in the depths of the forest. You stand up and spend some time collecting your thoughts. Liv. Your surroundings look exactly the same as what Asimov has shown you, except you don't see Liv around, who supposedly came in with you.
因为是第一次做这种尝试，所以你们潜入的位置可能存在一定程度的偏差。
What Hippocrates said back at the lab pops into your mind. It seems like you'll have to find Liv first before starting your mission.
就像面对一张杂乱的图，人会本能地去寻找最熟悉的东西。指挥官和构造体之间也存在某种引力。
You shut your eyes, trying to get a feel for that certain something, except all you're picking up are choppy echoes that seem to be taking you nowhere. This is not unlike looking for a particular fish in the absolute dark expanse of an ocean. You know Liv is right around you, yet you're totally clueless as to where to begin looking. And right then, a shaft of light descends. Open your eyes. You see a butterfly with 2 pairs of wings and thin black stripes along its body, parting the green fluorescence. You feel like you know that butterfly. The butterfly makes 2 circles around you, leaving traces of light to snow on you that seem to be telling you to follow it. Drawn by a sense of familiarity, you see the butterfly as it goes. Following the butterfly, you travel through the wide expanse that's the forest. By the way, I love this forest art, not gonna lie. Really love the forest art here. Just want to comment on that. Really love it. Losing count of the amount of times you come across the same views. The butterfly's fluorescence is now your only source of guidance down the increasingly secluded path. Right then, you hear noises coming from up ahead. Someone is coming this way walking on the grass. Hello?
指挥官，
Her voice coming from behind the trees, Liv picks up her pace across the grass, and there she is now, standing in front of you. Except she looks a little different from what you remember her. A grandiose black dress envelops her exquisite body, giving her a solemn aura. The jade green wings behind her, however, add a dreamlike quality to her, and she seems as though she might just vanish in the wind if you so much as look away from her for a split second.
指挥官，请不要一直盯着看。
Aww, she looks so cute. I love this art. I love this splash. Yeah, this would be splash art, right? Yeah, I love the splash art of her. It really is nice. I like that. Liv lowers her head, apparently feeling self-conscious because of your unwavering gaze. Ahem. Alright, of course. Looking around yourself, you can't help but feel flabbergasted by the view, having forgotten about the butterfly that had taken you here. What's going on here? The Liv you're seeing is wearing a completely different outfit than she was before coming in.
我也不清楚为什么会这样，在我醒来后就已经是这种状态了。
Liv reaches for the wings behind her as she starts checking herself out. Maybe this is something your mind shard is doing to you.
阿西莫夫先生也说过类似的话。
You've never seen Liv like this before. She's usually just dressed in white and pink.
指挥官觉得怎么样呢？
Think you look great, Liv. With a sheepish look on her face, Liv seems happy with the compliment all the same, while looking slightly caught off guard.
其实我是想问指挥官有没有像我一样受到影响，不过还是谢谢。
Never felt better. It's fortunate that your injury didn't get transferred over to this world. Are you feeling anything else, Liv?
有一个或许也能算是被影响的方面。
Seeing you all baffled, Liv claps her hands 3 times. And with it, you hear noises coming from the trees. When you turn your head over, you see countless chipmunks poking their heads out everywhere. Among the bushes, above the treetops, behind the rocks, they're everywhere. With their tiny black eyes traveling back and forth between you and Liv, they seem to have a hard time comprehending the sight of the two human beings in front of them.
没关系，这个人不是坏人。
And with it, the chipmunks all come leaping out. Before you are even able to react, you find yourself and Liv drowning in a sea of warm fur balls rubbing your faces and palms. Aw, that's so cute, bro. Aw, that's so cute. How did you find out you can do this, though? You clap your hands 3 times when Liv isn't looking your way, and nothing happens. You know what? The whole chipmunk thing? And her ending screen as well. It kind of reminds me of a Disney princess, but I can't remember which Disney princess was it. Which Disney princess was, which Disney princess was the one with the chipmunks again? I forgot. Frick. I know there was a Disney princess who liked. I know there's a Disney princess that had like a chipmunk companion, and I believe her dress was like the top was like blue, and with like a yellow skirt, and like short black hair. I can't, and like a red bow on top. I can't remember her name, but like, I'm pretty sure she was the one that had like that chipmunk. Liv kind of reminds me of that one, of that Disney princess, with the whole chipmunk thing. It's never been difficult, anyways. If you know what it is, just let me know down in the comments below. It's never been difficult for Liv to draw animals towards her because she's always so gentle. But you know that what you just witnessed is on a different level than just being gentle.
一开始只是想拍掉手上的泥土，然后这些孩子就出现了。
Can you get other animals to come to you?
我也试过改变拍手的节奏和次数，甚至还模仿了儿童剧目里的魔法少。
Liv stops in her tracks.
总之做了各种尝试都没有效果，会过来的就只有森花蛇。
With her hand still caressing a little fur ball, Liv looks away. You carry on speaking as you put on the ground a struggling chipmunk that just fell off your shoulder and was dangling off your chest pocket. Now let's try bringing each other up to speed.
在我醒来后，
When Liv finishes bringing you up to speed, you see that your diving point was actually 1 good kilometer away from Liv's, so you came in here at almost the same time. Liv has a pair of wings similar to that on the Imperial frame, except it doesn't allow her to fly, presumably because the mind has made it so. It seems like you won't be flying to the center of the forest. And it's your turn to fill Liv in on what you've been through.
蝴蝶吗？在我醒来时，并没有出现指挥官描述的蝴蝶，需要进行精准扫描吗？
No, it's fine. You want to learn more about the butterfly, but it's much too fleeting an occurrence for you to spend time on when you're supposed to be looking into the center of the forest. We're sticking to our
正在
plan.
进行地形扫描和路线分析。
Oh?
范围内的障碍物太多，并没有办法直接推演出到达森林中央的路径。
That's fine. We'll see what the data feedback has to say as we go. Let's go. The chipmunks sitting on you and Liv start jumping off, apparently having sensed that you're about to leave. And as they leave, they stuff your pockets full of chestnuts, berries, seeds, and petals. Aww. That's so cute. Then waving its tiny claw at Liv, the last chipmunk disappears into a crack under the rocks. Oh, they're so cute, man. Man, chipmunks are always so cute, dude. Liv bids it farewell with a smile. Doesn't seem like this path is going to work.
正在规划其他路线。
You thought a place like this would be a piece of cake for Liv. Except this forest is proving to be a lot more complicated than previously imagined. But on second thought, you realize the complexity, of this forest should be really attributed to Liv's seemingly endless imagination. This is what happened shortly after you and Liv set out. The path through the forest isn't exactly trekker friendly. While your shoes with the extra thick soles are keeping your feet well protected from all the sharp stones on the ground, you still need to be absolutely careful as not to slip off the moss. The trees, grass, and flowers, everything around you is of the same color. The forest has not a trace of humans, and the cries of insects seem to come from afar. Completely lost, you stay closely behind Liv. And suddenly, Liv stops in her tracks. Oh, Oh, that expression is cute, man. I love that. Oh, that expression. What's the
这
matter?
里的桥和我想象中有些不同。
Caught by surprise, Liv seems at a loss for words. Well, there's only so much radar imaging can do, I suppose. Climbing over the rock in your way, you look up from the ground to see the view up ahead. See, this isn't something you need to... The last few words of the sentence get stuck halfway at your throat when you see what's up ahead of you. In front of you now is a valley of 20 meters wide with a bridge above it connecting either side of the valley. Giving off a crystalline shine, the bridge consists of many discs. The same discs can be seen moving in irregular patterns around the bridge. Enveloped in their somewhat dark surroundings, they're reminiscent of glowing lamps. With a closer look, you see that the discs all have long tentacles or semi-transparent belts attached to the underside. As though sensing that they've been looked at, some of their tentacles rise and wave this way. The floating jellyfish is greeting you.
我也没想到会是这样，不过他们没有敌意的样子。
You never saw this coming yourself, too, because you didn't run into anything out of the ordinary the entire way. Seems like the speed at which the time passes isn't the only thing different between mine and the real world. This world seems to be full of strange things that can happen to you at every turn, and the fact that Liv was able to get all the chipmunks to hang around you is but an example of that. And with that taken into account, this jellyfish bridge really shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Aren't they going to dehydrate? As though trying to answer your question, a few enormous jets of water come gushing out from the depths of the valley, washing away some of the jellyfish that make up the bridge. Moments later, however, their places are taken over by other jellyfish. Having been graced by the water, the bridge now gives off a lucid shine. Do you know what's going on, Liv?
我想，可能和小时候听到的鹊桥故事有关。
Liv seems unsure of herself as she speaks. In Kowloon's folklore, the Magpie Bridge is a bridge formed by magpies squishing the bodies together on a certain day. And this jellyfish bridge does bear a resemblance to the Magpie Bridge. Although one of them flies up there in the sky, while the other swims in the water, which means this mine chart is.
或许是关于童话故事的记忆。
有些事情虽然确实经历或者设想过，却不会在记忆中留下深刻的痕迹。
就像教授说的那样，这段数据也与之类似，属于被意识忽视、遗忘，或者说拒绝的部分。
What Hippocrates and Asimov said about the shard matches what you're seeing. People don't usually remember the fairy tales they hear as kids.
指挥官会觉得孩子气吗？
Let's go no, not at all. Liv is gentle and doesn't talk a whole lot, but she never fails to look after the people around her whenever she can. She's mature in every sense of the word. Liv lets out a sigh of relief at what you said.
现在需要另外规划路线吗？
What's your take, Liv?
我 我想先脱了鞋会比较好吧。
Oh, my bad. Liv looks down at her lethally dangerous high heels. With Liv's approval, you step on the semi-transparent bell of the jellyfish, and all the while feeling the slipperiness and bounciness of it. All good. Only need to stay low and go at this pace.
指挥官，快退回来！
With it, Liv grabs a hold of your hand, except it's too late now. The bell crumbles down before it contracts inward and then hunches up. Before you know what just happened, you find yourself and Liv coming face to face with a glowing jellyfish in the air, although you can't really, for the life of you, tell where its eyes are. Before you begin falling through the air, however, the jellyfish whips out one of its belts and wraps it around you and Liv. Except the combined weight of you and Liv seems too heavy for it, sending the jellyfish down into a straight fall, like a parachute with a hole. Fortunately, another jellyfish comes to your rescue in time with its belts. Working together, the two jellyfish float back up once again. At the same time, the grip of the belt grows tighter around you and Liv. What's this thing? You feel something as soft as silk against your back.
指挥官，是我的翅膀被压倒了。
From behind you, Liv now speaks in a tone choppy and low that you can barely make out her words. Every last one of which seems to be coming out as the last strand of her being. Tied up tightly back to back, however, you can't see Liv's face. Somehow, you seem to be hearing the hisses of a stream. Of steam. I'm sorry.
没关系，不过我想现在这种方式才是正确越过峡谷的办法。
And Liv is right, because you can see that the shining jellyfish and his friend are transporting the two of you to the other side of the valley. From the corner of your eye, you see that the jellyfish you stepped on at the very beginning is cleaning its bell of the dirt on it using the dews coming off the chunk of moss that it's holding with its tentacles. When it's done grooming itself, the jellyfish does look slightly shinier than it did just moments ago. Is it trying to polish itself?
它们挤在一起，大概并不是想搭桥，而是靠着休息。
With a closer look, you see that Liv is right. The jellyfish that you initially thought was acting as a bridge's pier doesn't shine as brightly. With its bell going up and down ever so faintly, it appears to be under a light sleep. So what the jellyfish did to me just now when I stepped on it, just now,
应该算是某种起床气吧。
Liv sounds at ease, sensing no harm coming from the jellyfish. But right then, your surroundings start growing dark. Moments later, you feel something hard against the bottom of your feet, and the grip around you lets go. Turning around, you see that the jellyfish is still there, and now it's trying to flatten Liv's crumpled wings.
谢谢你们的帮助，这点小事就不用在意了。
Aww. The jellyfish, however, stays where it is. Its tentacle is obviously not the most ideal of tools with which to flatten the creases. Let me fix them for you.
指挥官怎么也……
Aww. I'm sure they won't let us go if I don't do it. Looking up, you see that the jellyfish is still busy trying to fix Liv's wings. And I'm partially responsible for it anyways.
那就拜托了。
Bit by bit, you flatten the creases in the chiffon-like wings and the gentle life coming off the jellyfish. Then, looking up at the jellyfish and Liv's wings, now being slowly flattened back to the previous state, you open your mouth to speak. This is just
毕
amazing.
竟这里并不是现实，没有那么多束缚。
But even with everything that seemed to stand in our way, people have made amazing breakthroughs and made the impossible possible. Gravity tried to hold humans down, but we found a way to reach the sky and even further beyond. Distance stood between us, but technology made it possible for us to connect with each other whenever we wanted. Lightning was once a power inspiring our awe, but we found a way to make it work for us.
那指挥官觉得这里的景象也有实现的可能吗？
The jellyfish form a colorful, fantastic view around you beyond description. I would say somewhere down the road, yeah. It might seem like a far-fetched fantasy, but nothing is impossible, so long as there are people drawn to it. You flattened the last crease on Liv's wings. Although still unable to take Liv through the skies and now bearing shallow scars, Liv's wings can once again open up nonetheless. There's not a wonderful thing that is not worth our time and effort. This is what the forest seems to be mumbling as the breeze gently ruffles the leaves. Aw, nice. Farewell, Wonderland. She bids the fearless fledgling bird with her last farewell. Holding on to a dandelion, you and Liv make it across the bubbling swamp. Making it through the grass maze was almost too easy with Liv's scanning radar. Crossing the rushing river was a breeze too, with the river crab carrying you on its back. You and Liv came the entire way without breaking so much as a sweat. These are true eye-openers, Liv. The views around you seem to grow wider still. The further into the forest you and Liv travel...
请不要说了。
With the views unfurling around both of you, Liv appears more embarrassed than nostalgic. She covers her now blushing face, yet her equally red ears give her away. Aww. When you and Liv reach an empty ground in the forest, you see a line of sheep lying on their side. Aww. So furry that their bodies take the shape of a ball, they are, to your surprise, amazingly agile. Right in the middle of the sheep is a saddle, and right when one of the sheep hops over the saddle. Aw. Wait, isn't sheep Liv's favorite animal? Aw, that makes it even more cute, man. Then comes the next sheep. Aw. Aw, the baaing sounds are so cute, man. Then comes the third one. Eventually all the baas turn into a light rhythmic lullaby. I see you counted sheep in bed as a kid, huh? Liv slowly regains her composure as she looks nostalgically at the sheep.
睡不着时就会一只一只的数羊。
Liv says with a smile as she recalls her childhood.
但有时因为太认真，反而更睡不着了。
Aw.
指挥官小时候也有类似的经历吗？
I would say no. As a kid, you've never had anything to do with a good night's sleep because you always slept quite well. But as an adult, you now spend more time trying not to fall asleep than coming up with ways to help yourself sleep. Why sheep, though? Everyone counts goats, no?
因为绵羊很可爱，
Aw.
我也很喜欢，在小时候还有养过。
Oh yeah, she did. It's from her interlude. You turn your gaze at the line of sheep, which stretches as far out as it can possibly can along their horizon, all the way from the west to the east. A real big fan with a birthing passion, too. You decide to keep these words to yourself so Liv won't overheat from blushing. You try to herd the sheep somewhere else, yet judging from the fact that none of them even bats an eye, you know your efforts are going to prove futile. You know your efforts are going to prove futile. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you can move forward until you figured out a different path. And just look at this. Looking up, you see that the skies have gone from the previous white and blue to the current tangerine, a telltale sign that the nightfall is fast approaching.
指挥官，要先寻找休息的地方吗？
While everything happening so far has taken place within the projection of a mind shard, you feel every bit as worn out as though you've been going through the day in the real world. There is in fact another reason for your making this decision. Well, it's not just because the sun is setting though, see? I'm sure you heard a lot of spooky stories as a kid, right? It listens, it chases, it preys. It's the most feared predator in the dark forest, ready to prey on all souls alive. Listen, as its drool burns through the ground, having fallen from a mouth so big that it takes up over half of the monster's body. Look, it will never let you go once it has its murderous eyes on you. So run as far as you can, until you've reached a place that can shelter you.
不睡觉的孩子都会被我吃掉。
Aww, Sharksphere. Sharksphere is... Aww. Bro, Sharksphere's voice is super cute, man. I thought it'd be something... Holy, this creepy with a capital C. Let's do that. To your surprise, however, the predator isn't some terrifying monster. Rather, it's an adorable plushie.
我一点都不可怕，但还是会吃掉不睡觉的孩子。
Seeing the shark plushie leaving, you and Liv poke your heads out of the bushes. Was that something that scared you when you were a kid?
指挥官也是吗？
Well, sort of. Monsters that claim to eat you up if you don't go to sleep on time, huh? Seems like it's an all-time classic. The only difference is that a scary monster is what you usually get in these stories rather than an adorable plushie. You approached it because it seemed harmless enough, except it put on a hostile front the moment it sensed your presence. It wasn't scary at all, though.
是在说刚才的那只布偶吗？
Nodding your head, you start telling Liv about all the tricks the grown-ups used to fool you around with from when you were a kid. Green octopus with a menacing face. That's
那
new.
指挥官会感到害怕吗？
I always felt okay when it turned the light. Let's go wholesome a bit. Right then, you hear a voice coming from behind you, a voice that you know.
啊！发现你们了，不睡觉的孩子！
Run! Sharksphere! Yeah, run for Sharksphere, bro. Sharksphere is terrifying. There's no point in turning around because you know exactly where it is from and its footsteps and shouts.
指挥官，我们还是分开跑吧。
Running away from the shark plushie, Liv once again makes the same suggestion. No. Once again, you turn down her suggestion.
可我现在的状态只会连累到你。
And you know exactly what Liv is talking about, her wings. The fluorescence. It makes it almost too easy for the plushie to spot them in the dark. We can't just keep running, though. Right then, something lands on your shoulder with a squeak. The chipmunk from before? About to flick it off, you stop it just in time. With the fluorescence coming off Liv's wings, you take a good look at the chipmunk. And that's when you see yet another chipmunk on Liv's shoulder.
现在很危险，你们快躲起来！
One of the chipmunks points its claw in a certain direction. Nodding at each other, you and Liv run in the direction the chipmunk just pointed.
不见了，不见了。
Aww. Bro, sharks are so cute, bro. Passing you by, the cry of the shark plushie disappears into the distance. This place seems safe. When you open the door of the shelter, Liv pokes her head out from the other side. You are now hiding with Liv inside 2 gigantic pea pods.
松花鼠们是怎么找过来的呢？
How did the chipmunks find us, though? I think they probably found us with the fluorescence coming off your wings. You point at the chipmunks, which are now chasing fireflies. The fluorescence might be what's catching all the monsters' eyes in the dark, but it also stands as an inviting beacon to friends.
但如果那2个孩子没有被吸引过来，指挥官又会怎么办呢？
I would have come up with something where tired ourselves out, probably. Without saying anything, Liv changes the subject rather awkwardly.
这里看起来很适合休息的样子。
Yep, you should get some rest too, Liv.
不，我就
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're supposed to rest on time as a part of the rehabilitation process for your mind, right? You cut Liv off before she's finished speaking.
这里是在意识海中，并不能像现实中那样方便的进入休眠状态。
The opening on the pea pod that Liv is in faces that of yours. Lying down, she meets you in the eye.
但我还是会像指挥官建议的那样，试着睡眠。
The moonlight is cold and anything but bright, but it shows you perfectly in Liv's eyes. You don't want to look away because you know that the moment you do, you will lose this game. Besides, you and Liv are already used to being around each other, having been through all that you've been through together over the years.
指挥官，睡不着吗？
Never had an easy time falling asleep away from
可
home.
是，在以前的任务中，指挥官在弹坑都快速入眠了。
Oh, I remember that mission. You actually don't usually get to sleep in your own bed because of all sorts of accidents. Ruins that can only block off the wind, tight craters, and abandoned cars. These are the kinds of places you usually find yourself sleeping at. The pea pod you're in proves to be a lot more comfortable, except it's got nothing to do with this place. And you, still trying to get used to this place?
虽然还是什么都想不起来，但这里有种熟悉的感觉，并没有哪里不习惯。
That's fine. I'm sure you'll remember everything. Everything. When we find the mind shard.
指挥官的童年是怎么样的呢？
Following the course of the subject, Liv asks you curiously. Just tell everything. You don't remember ever telling anyone about your childhood, since you rarely ever talk about your life before coming to Grey Raven. You decide to take advantage of this chance to have a good chat with Liv. Liv listens quietly for the most part, but she will still raise questions every now and then, which, to your surprise, actually helps you recall a big chunk of your long-forgotten memory. And with it, the conversation went from a monologue to a dialogue with no end in sight. Your surroundings fall quieter still as time passes. The cries of the insects, loud and clear until just moments ago, have all died down too. The two of you grow sleepy as you carry on chit-chatting in the dark. Time goes by a mile a second as you laugh and chat away, and you know you are both feeling the right amount of sleepiness to sleep now.
虽然还想再多了解指挥官一点，但是入睡的时候了。
Liv's voice grows distant as you grow drowsy. Tell me about yourself next time, Liv. The words coming out of your mouth are garbled up.
我吗？很多事已经记不住了，还记得的可能并不有趣。
Well, everything we've seen so far in here, you need no further proof, because the place you're about to fall asleep at is none other than Liv's childhood self. Seems to say otherwise. I'll make sure to find it for you. Tell me more about yourself when you find it. When I've found it. You don't remember if you actually said these words before falling asleep. What happened during the day seems to be spicing up your dream. Following a group of migrating sheep, you arrive at a spire, that for which you set out on the journey in the first place. Looking up and seeing the tip of the spire thoroughly drenched in scarlet, you feel drawn to it. You take a step forward and over the mud and the grass. Then, with a sharp red pain across your forehead, the world as you see it turns blood red. Oh shit. The wool on the sheep tears away to reveal the corrupted underneath, while the spire collapses into a crimson figure. Oh, damn. Boss. This is your memory from the last rescue mission. You try to make your way up through the sea of corrupted, but the crimson figure slashed right through you. Before the chaos tore you apart, the only thing you saw in the world that blurred away was a little white bird. Reliving the memory, you notice something different. You feel like you're missing something that lies just right beyond where your eyes and the light can reach. When did the blood-soaked longsword leave your body? Where did the crimson figure go? Is there something behind you, behind the white bird? Turning around, there's nothing but pitch darkness. Oh shit. All the years of waking up naturally with your biological clock have made an alarm clock a dispensable item to you. As you sit up and rub your temple, the blanket takes the course of gravity and falls off. Wait, a blanket? When you open your eyes, it hits you that instead of a pea pod, you're now in a cozy room. Liv? The room is minimally decorated, and Liv is nowhere to be seen. Taking not even a single moment to survey the room or to think about how you got here in the first place, you open the door and start looking for Liv. Hey, good morning. Did you have some quality rest? A woman you've never seen before stands in the hallway with a wooden tray. Initially caught by surprise, she quickly regains her gentle smile. Your hunch is that she doesn't intend to hurt you, and hunches are often most reliable in the mind. Hi, what's your name?
叫我仙蒂瑞拉就好。
Oh, Cinderella? I was with a friend just now. Does she happen to be here too?
是那个小姑娘吗？她就在对面房间。
Oh, Cinderella? Is this like the Disney princess? Yeah, yeah. Cinderella knocks on the door but receives no response. Liv, are you in there? Cinderella knocks on the door harder but still gets no response.
她是那种嗜睡的人吗？
Shake your head. Seeing you shake your head, Cinderella hesitates for a moment before she opens the door. The setup of the room is basically the same as the one you woke up in. Liv lies in the bed with her back facing you, apparently still asleep. You can't see her face, but you can just tell from the groan that she's in pain. Liv! You're no stranger to what's happening. This is a symptom of Liv's migraine. Out of habit, you want to take out your connecting cable for the deep mind connection, but it hits you that you already are in Liv's mind. Setting her tray on the table, Cinderella dashes up to Liv's bed. She holds Liv's face with her hands as she presses her head against Liv's, all the while mumbling something unintelligible. And with it, as a faint fluorescence envelops them, Liv's face softens. A few moments later, Cinderella puts Liv's head back on the pillow ever so gently.
她已经没事了。
Cinderella stands up, looking slightly out of it. Are you
没
okay?
关系，只是有些走神了。
Cinderella quickly regains her composure. Then you see Liv slowly sit up.
指挥官，还有这位是？
你可以叫我先帝瑞拉，利夫。
Cinderella is now looking at you and Liv with her gentle eyes. Eyes that now seem even more loving than they did before. You quickly fill Liv in on what just happened just now.
谢谢你的帮助，先。
不用那么客气，叫我先帝瑞拉就好。
好的。
With a gentle, accepting smile, Cinderella turns this way.
危机也暂时解决了，你们应该饿了吧？来喝点豌豆汤如何？
Pointing at the tray sitting on the table, she seems to be waiting for a favorable response. Steaming, creamy green soup has diced onions, carrots, and round peas floating on its surface. The fresh veggies and the aroma of butter make for a temptation impossible to resist. Yes, of course. Given that she just helped stabilize Liv, you don't think there's anything to worry about the food she's prepared. And from her eyes, you're sensing a very special quality that you'd probably describe as motherliness, which is why you don't think it's a good idea to turn her down. Each with a wooden spoon, you and Liv scoop up the soup and move it to your mouths. With its aroma filling the air now, you can now smell the diced onions and black pepper in it. Shoving the spoon into your mouth, you're instantly hit with a creamy explosion that takes place across your taste buds. The freshness of the veggies is the first to hit, followed by the rich and fresh taste of butter that helps the onions stand out. The hot soup makes its way down your food pipe with the black pepper in it, warming your body through and through. Much to your surprise, the soup comes with a minty taste too.
味道不错吧？
Propping her face with both her hands, Cinderella looks awash in happiness. When you finish the soup, it finally hits you that you're starving from consuming nothing at all for the entire day. Having been warmed up, your tummy is now protesting for more. I think I can actually use more of... The satisfied sigh coming from beside you cuts you short. You look away. It seems as though Liv has the same thought as you. May I have some more?
当然可以，你们想喝多少都没问题。
Cinderella refills both of your bowls with the bean soup.
擅作主张帮你也添上了，不过我想你也还需要，对吗？
谢谢。
你们能这么喜欢，真是太好了。这些蔬菜都是我在清晨采摘回来的。之所以会发现你们，也是因为去采摘豌豆的缘故。哦，对了，汤里还有你们昨天待过的豌豆荚哦，有没有感觉很亲切？
You stop dead in your tracks. Seeing both you and Liv freeze, Cinderella covers her mouth, trembling from laughing as her laughter comes out through her fingers.
对不起，因为你们实在太可爱了，就忍不住捉弄了一下。放心，你们的临时居所我有好好放在后院的。汤里的豌豆也都是普通的豌豆，你看，它们的大小是正常的吧？
Rubbing the tears away from the corner of her eyes, Cinderella regains her composure.
我也是太久没见过其他人了，所以有些失态。
Oh, really?
欢迎你们来到仙境。
Wonderland, huh? Kind of like Alice in Wonderland? When you finish the fourth bowl, Cinderella, seemingly overexcited, once again stirs the apparently bottomless soup pot with her ladle.
还要再添点吗？
I think I'm fine.
真的不再喝点吗？
Yes, absolutely positive. Feeling fuller than ever, you say to her in your most appreciative tone.
那礼服你要？
不，谢谢你的款待，但我也不用了。
Having gone through just as many bowls as you, Liv waves her hand in a panic as she expresses her appreciation apologetically. Nodding with a somewhat disappointed face, she hits the pot with her ladle, and with it, the soup inside goes poof.
我去收拾一下。
Please, let us. This makes for a good chance to speak privately with Liv.
可是如果让客人帮忙的话，
But Liv has already put the tableware away and is picking the tray
请
up.
让我们做点力所能及的事作为感谢。
Relenting with a smile on her face, Cinderella says adoringly,
那么我就去准备茶点吧。清洗的话，在后院的河边就可以了，要小心一点哦。
As you watch carefully your own steps to avoid another nasty fall. So what do you think, Liv?
我和指挥官的看法一样，仙蒂瑞拉小姐虽然很特殊，但应该并不是我们寻找的意识碎片。
But she seems to know a lot of things.
仙蒂瑞拉小姐很热情，或许可以帮助我们了解这里的情况。
Let's talk to her in a bit.
对了，指挥官，你是在这边吗？
Wait, I thought you were here.
看来只能等泡泡自己散去了。
Guess we'll just have to wait for the bubbles to go away then. I know, I've lost count of how many times we missed each other. Looking at all the colorful bubbles, you feel completely lost in kaleidoscopic views around you. Out in the back, you see a shallow stream that seems knee-high at best. The stream seems harmless enough, but you're never going to forget what happens when you put tableware into it. Boy, was it a real sight. Instead of splashes of water, the river spits up bubbles, in an amount that shrouds you completely. You can't see anything, and feeling the ground slippery, you try taking a step forward. Oh, you fall into the water with a thud, sending bubbles flying up in each and every way. Liv wastes no time jumping in and starts looking for you, but neither of you can tell where the other person is and all the bubbles with all the bubbles around. There are several times when you sense Liv right around you, only to realize that it's all wishful thinking when you reach your hand out.
指挥官，你还在吗？
Yes, let's just stay where we are now. You say as you look at all the bubbles that are now slowly disappearing. Then you hear a sigh.
我们还是保持交流吧，不然稍微会有些不安呢。
Sure, what do you want to talk about?
比如说，指挥官当时为什么会选择去法奥斯学校进修呢？虽然听说空中花园的大部分都会选择这条路，但其实也不是没有别的选择。
I didn't to pursue
憧
dreams.
憬啊！我当初会主动递交调动申请也是。
What did you just say? You can barely hear Liv over all the bubbles.
没什么。
But I'm never going to give up. Because I have a dream, and I'm gonna make it come true.
一直坚持到现在的梦想。
Yep, although my instructor would always just tell me to stop daydreaming. Embarrassed, you scratch your head.
就算如此，也能坚持到现在吗？
That's only because I haven't made it come through. True, though.
指挥官，到底？
Oh, hey, yo? A few moments of silence later, Liv's voice grows hurried, and right then a gust of wind disperses all the bubbles.
抱歉，抱歉，我忘了提醒你们，要小心的是这些泡泡了。我是不是来的不是时候啊？
Cinderella asks as she looks at Liv and you.
要不我再把泡泡吹回来？
I think we're fine. We just so happen to have some questions for you, actually.
先用茶吧。是遇到了什么难题吗？
With your clothes dry, you're back in the room from earlier. Right. Whatever the cost, you need to make it through all that stands in your way now. We want to go to the spire in the middle of the
森
forest.
林中央的尖塔。
Cinderella sounds shocked. Looking back and forth between you and Liv, Cinderella finally turns her gaze to you with wide eyes and open mouth.
是有什么问题吗？
What's the matter?
不，
Oh, well, I was
其
just
实
trying to
我
have
刚才
something
可
worked
能
out
误会
in
了
my
一些
head.
事。我原以为
See, I
那
thought
里是
you
你们
came
出
from the
发的
spire, but I see that's where you're going
现在
now.
你们来自森林外，
You're from outside the forest, aren't you? What makes you think
因
so?
为对森林里的生物来
Because the
说，
spire is off
那
limits
座
to
尖
every
塔
living
是一
thing,
处禁地，
everything living in the forest.
偶尔也会有误入尖塔的
Some
生物，
animals wander off
但
into
它
the
们后
spire
来
every now
就
and
再也
then.
没有出
And
来。
that would be the last anyone sees of them.
所以不要靠近尖塔，可以说是森林中的共识了。
Which is why everyone and everything living here knows better than to get close to the spire.
是的，如你所说，我们来自森林外。
能告诉我森林外是怎么样的吗？
Cinderella is dripping with
这
curiosity.
个
Liv seems to be measuring her words. There is no easy way to tell Cinderella that they come from the real world, that she herself is a built projection inside Liv's mind shard. There's no telling what's going to happen to Liv if Liv tells her all that.
看你们的表情，难道是有什么不能说的理由吗？
对不起。
不必道歉。在你们的考量中，知道这个消息可能会对我造成不好的后果吧？不用那么惊讶，如果不是这样的话，你们就不会露出那么为难的表情了。只是有些遗憾。
Stroking her teacup, Cinderella quickly regains her smile.
好了，说回那座塔吧。你们昨晚在森林中露营，也是因为在白天在森林中赶路的缘故吧？
是的，中途遇到了一些阻碍。
Stammering, Liv is reminded of the line of sheep that ran the length of the horizon.
现在的话，我们也不知道自己所在的位置了。请问您知道前往那座塔的路线吗？
路线吗？很遗憾，我也不知道前往那里的准确路线。不如说，根本就不存在去那里的路线。
哎，是因为路上有无法跨越的地形吗？
是别的原因。比起说明，还是亲眼见证会比较直观吧。
Cinderella stands up and proceeds to open the
你们只
window.
要看看就明白了。
Beyond the window, you see the crowns of the trees in the forest. Cinderella seems to be living up on a hill. The spire, however, is nowhere to be seen.
马上就要开始了。
Following Cinderella's finger, you and Liv look outside the window at where she's
他
pointing.
们是在移动吗？
Slowly but surely, the forest is moving in a random fashion, and so too is the ground in which they're rooted.
我都没有察觉到。
对于森林里的人来说，变化的并非脚下的路面，而是所处的位置。就算是我们现在的位置，也正在变化中。
Sitting back down, Cinderella says slowly,
所以，你们想要走到那座塔前，几乎是不可能的事。但是你们仍然不会放弃，不是吗？
我们有不能放弃的理由。
看来依然是不能告诉我的内容。不要露出那么内疚的表情。我想，无序的森林之所以会把你们送到我身边，一定是有什么理由的，也可能是出于什么希望。既然你们的目标是那座塔，那么就让我来讲讲那座塔的由来，和它以前的样子吧。
Unable to find her way back, she's lost in the sea of trees. Or deep down inside, maybe she doesn't want to go back.
这里是哪里？
Lost in looking around, she can see a tower with a pointed tip standing in the distance. On this land she's never set foot on. Upon reaching the tower, she gives the wooden door a gentle
不
knock.
认识的孩子，你是要找谁？
我迷路了，你是谁？
Oh, my bad. Missed one. The door creaks open, but the voice that's speaking to her comes from behind her.
我是这座尖塔的主人，能实现一切梦想的仙女。
梦想。
那是最美妙的东西，世人为它穷尽一切赞誉。不说这个了，由我来送你回家吧。
Oh, damn.
等等，
看来你还有另外的念想。
The fairy turns around with a gentle look, waits patiently for the girl to say her next word.
我想要很多很多的朋友，哥哥姐姐都不愿意陪我玩，这个梦想可以实现吗？
Like a deflating balloon, the little girl quickly loses the confidence she's just worked up.
这对我来说轻而易举，不过，你愿意支付代价吗？
代价是什么代价？
She sounds a little scared.
代价就是。
When the fairy reaches her hand this way, the girl shuts her eyes nervously. The fairy puts her hand on the girl's head, then with a few strokes. The fairy straightens the girl's hair, which was a complete mess from her traveling across the forest.
这就是代价了。
With that, the fairy sounds pleased.
这样就可以了吗？
Without answering the girl's question, the fairy produces a colorful scepter. She gives it a little tap in the air with a mumble.
哔不滴吧不滴不。
Bibbidi bobbidi boo! Bro, that is one of the most ridiculous spellcasting words I've ever heard. Swoosh. A flash of light swishes past, but she can't tell if anything actually happened.
拍3下手试试。
1、2、3，没有发生什么呀。
Surrounded by a bunch of chipmunks, the girl shrieks in surprise.
喜欢这些可爱的朋友吗？哦，对了，还有样东西我要送给你。
With another tap of the fairy's scepter on the ground, a pumpkin carriage grows out of the soil.
坐上这个回家吧，这样就不用怕迷路了。
Bro, this is basically Cinderella, bro.
后来，女孩和尖塔的主人也成为了好朋友。他们一个提出愿望，一个实现愿望，将整个森林装扮起来。 驱走黑暗的浮空水母，就算失眠也不会数完的绵羊，亦或者是一颗就能让人吃饱的巨大豌豆。就这样，时间一天天过去。后来因为一些变故，他不得不离开了家庭。好久不见了，这次。 有什么要和我聊的吗？
因为一些事情，我要离开这里了。
The fairy slowly opens her mouth to speak.
森林以外，对我来说是无法触及的世界。森林中的一切，你也无法带出。你真的确定吗？
是的，我确定。
Looking into the girl's eyes and seeing her determination, the fairy sees that there is no point in trying to make the girl
记
stay.
得经常回来看看。
With the heavy locks lifted, the door of the shelter opens up, allowing the girl to exit on her own.
在现实面前，他不断否定，舍弃着过往的梦想。 因为他们幼稚且不合时宜，唯一能做的，只是偶尔偷偷看一眼。但他不知道的是，这些梦想都被对方小心地收藏了起来，直到有一天，猩红的火焰从地面升起，将整个世界割裂开来。
哎呦！
你都长这么大了。
She says nostalgically.
对不起，
不用道歉。我很高兴能再次见到你。
Bro, is it gonna die,
那么
man?
这次你想要的是？
我想
The girl says her wish, to which the fairy falls into what seems like an eternity of silence.
难道不行吗？
Oh god, this song. Not the acoustic version of the song, bro. No, the pain, it's coming back.
这对我来说有些难度。
With your freedom, you'd be trapped in a cage where you can't see the light of day. The girl nods. You will have absolutely nothing by your side save for pain. The girl nods. And you'll be eaten away until you're polluted all over and burned to ashes with the forest. A few moments of silence later, the girl nods as she looks at the fairy's apologetic eyes.
请告诉我怎么做。
The girl doesn't change her mind. Her last dream, a pair of wings that can take her through the skies. Wings that are meant to eventually crash and burn. Giving in to the girl's request, Cinderella casts on her an old but still familiar spell. With a shower of green light, the girl transforms into a butterfly with vibrant colors. Wings are thin and appear almost feeble, but against the evil crimson, they stand strong. Against the sea of the corrupted, the white bird flies alongside humanity as it guides them forward, and the black butterfly keeps the evil behind the humans where they can't see it. None of the miracles is a coincidence. She put her bargaining chips on the table even before it all began. At last, she falls through the sky along with the red figures and crashes into the spire, which has now become a cage from which they can't escape. Before the door to the spire closes, the fairy asks,
你还有其他愿望吗？丽芙，没有了。谢谢你一直以来的照顾，先帝瑞兰。
It's only with their inevitable goodbye, so imminent now, that Cinderella now has what it takes to bid Liv farewell.
那么，
I see. Goodbye
再
then.
见了。
之后，我将收藏的梦想释放了出来，形成了这片森林。
There you go. Cinderella holds up her teacup and patiently waits for you and Liv to digest everything you've just heard. With everything Cinderella just said, you finally figured out how this mind shard came into being. It's not a piece of item that carries Liv's imagination, nor is it something that holds her memory. Everything you've seen along the way, so out of the realm of reality, yet all come with a tinge of the real world.
原来，这些是我曾经的梦想。
没错，这里的一切都源自于你。有的是你一边看着童话故事一边许下的，有的是你在夜深人静时仍牵挂着花园里的绵羊许下的，还有的。
Apparently remembering something funny, Cinderella puts on a gentle laugh.
是你一个人躲在被窝里，虽然害怕到发抖，但又怀着期待许下的。你希望别人口中那只会抓走坏孩子的怪物能可爱点，但就算这样，你以前也经常躲着它，它可伤心了。
Cinderella returns her gentle gaze to Liv. Aww. This is so sweet, man.
这些都是被你遗忘的梦想。
Oh, so this shard is... Oh, that's actually crazy, dude. That this shard is actually Liv's dreams? Or like, earlier dreams? Childhood dreams? Yo, that's actually pretty sick.
在接触到你的那一刻，我 就回想起了这一切。我原本以为是蝴蝶挣脱了牢笼，从尖塔中逃了出来，准备寻找离开森林的道路。现在看来，那应该是你们此行的目的。你并不是被囚禁的蝴蝶，而是那只展翅的白鸟。虽然我仍然愿意像以前那样全力协助你，但是为实现你的梦想而存在于这片仙境的我，也是你梦想的一部分。现在，我想要听听你的心声。
我
已经以另一种形式实现了自己的梦想。
Apparently seeing right through Liv, Cinderella cuts her off. Shaking her head, she carries on.
但你原本的梦想呢？如果已经找到了替代品，又何须拥抱这些旧梦？你是否还觉得这些梦想是幼稚的，是不合时宜的？是否还想像以前那样，选择放弃他们，遗忘他们，用这种方式来走向成长，就像你之前做的那样。
Said in a calm yet firm tone, Cinderella's questions don't sound intimidating in the slightest. They're, if anything, reassuring.
这些梦想很幼稚，甚至可以说是希望渺茫，遥不可及。
Apparently unaware of what she's doing, Liv touches her wings with the faint scars. The very wings that, whilst unable to take her through the skies, shine through all the same in the dark.
但只要我们还在憧憬这样的美好，那它们就仍然值得追求。
那么，你是打算实现它们吗？在现在这种情况下，
我会为之努力。对于梦想来说，实现的时间并不重要，重要的是达成了那个结果。所以，它虽然幼稚，虽然可能只是儿时的一时兴起，但却不必拘泥于现在，就算在未来也是可以去实现，因为那始终是自己的一部分。
延期实现，听起来像是一种逃避的借口。
Says Cinderella with a smile that's ever so gentle on her face. Liv shakes her head.
正因为还未实现，我们才会一直追求。正因为不再逃避，不再把它视作奢侈，我们才把它留在未来。看似遥不可及的目标，不会让人迷失。就像海岸上的灯塔，或者天空中的北斗星，一直指引着方向。
Liv looks at you before she looks firmly into Cinderella's blue eyes.
成长不是依靠抛弃和遗忘达成的，铭记与坚守，才能通向希望的未来。
看来我没有什么好担心的了。
Looking away from Liv, Cinderella turns to look at you with her gentle yet shrewd blue eyes.
那么，你愿意去救出他吗？
That's why I came in the first place.
哪怕要身负险境，
Of
哪
course.
怕你遭遇危险，是利弗最不愿意看到的景象。
You exchange a look with Liv. There are worries and fear in her eyes, but you see no objection whatsoever. We never want to see each other put in harm's way. After taking the risk ourselves is probably the only choice that will ever make us feel okay. But it's never my job to protect her or the other way around. We have each other's back, and it's only when we have each other's back that we'll be able to travel far down the path together. Alone we might struggle, but together we are strong. Which is why if one of us ever fails, we should respect their choice all the same and soldier on with their torch in
那
hand.
么，我可以把它放心交给你了。
Hold up. Is this supposed to be kind of a... Is Cinderella supposed to be a sort of representation of Liv's mother? Is that was like her first mother before she died? Is Cinderella supposed to be that representation in her mind? Cinderella stands up and proceeds to open the door.
随我来，我会教给你们前往尖塔的方法。
Parked around the edge of the forest is an enormous pumpkin carriage, with its decorations discolored, cobwebs dangling off its rusty wheels, bearings broken, and its horse is gone. It does not seem like it still works, though.
它就是你们前往尖塔的方法。就算没有路线，南瓜车也能带你们前往想要去的地方。
可是它看上去已经不能用了。
这时候，你们需要的是一点小小的魔法。
With a wink, Cinderella looks impish for the first time. She picks up her now dusty scepter from beside the wheel.
比布丁巴布迪布。
I'm sorry. That spell casting is kind of ridiculous, not gonna lie. With her spell, the rainbow shrouds the carriage. The crystals and glasses are glistening again. The rust is removed, the cracks are patched, and the silver paintwork is gleaming in the sun. Then you hear a gallop coming from the woods. A sheep? But it isn't white horses that show up, but a bunch of equally white but fluffy sheep.
我可从来没有说过这是南瓜马车吧？
With the sheep saddled, the carriage's door opens to reveal its magnificent interior. Cinderella passes her scepter to Liv.
它的位置在塔底，这是你的同行者需要去的地方。而利弗你需要前往塔底，那里关押着被囚禁的怪物。对于曾一度从手上逃脱的猎物，
Cinderella turns around to look at you as she speaks in a serious tone.
想必他会不顾一切的再次展开追捕吧。为了不让他摧毁整座塔，必须有人来消灭它。所以，利弗，你比我更需要这根权杖，而且我以后也用不上它了。
Cinderella puts on a sad smile.
谢谢。
Cinderella carries on speaking as she helps Liv get inside the carriage.
虽然这里只是由梦想构成的仙境，我能为你实现的也只是森林中的梦想。
Holding out her hand, Cinderella helps you get inside the carriage
不
too.
过现在的你，不仅有了背负梦想、走出这片庇护所的力量与勇气，也有了愿意一同分担的伙伴。
Closing the door, Cinderella takes a step back. Bit by bit, Cinderella grows distant as the carriage pulls away. She knows this is their last farewell as the carriage makes its way into the distance. She thought she was ready for this day right when she first saw Liv at the spire. She thought she'd be able to play cool when the day finally came. She thought she'd feel happy for Liv, for not having to count on her anymore. And she thought Liv would be able to stay around for just a little
利
longer.
弗，
Through the window, you see Cinderella waving at you and Liv with a pained look on her
不要
face.
因为严酷失去对梦想的渴望，也不要因此而畏惧美好。
Oh man, really? Aww. With the sunlight shining through the haze, she bids the fearless fledgling bird with her last word of advice.
只要记忆中的痕迹不曾消散，实现梦想的魔法就永远存在。
Bro. This is so good so far. Blooming wings. Alright. Ooh, trial chapter? Nice. Oh, hey. Hey, yo, yeah. Man, this music is bumping, bro. Sorry, just vibing with music for a sec. Just vibing for a sec. Just vibing. Alright. Dry moss rolls out over the otherwise stony ground, and the trees part to either side to reveal a straight path ahead. As the river stops flowing, the ripples carry the pumpkin carriage ever so gently to the other side of the riverbank. The mountains come together without leaving so much as a crack. The place now looks nothing like what it was when you just arrived. Chipmunks coming out of nowhere flank the carriage while the bugs and birds sing together for the procession. You see the long line of sheep at the very end of the horizon, still hopping over the saddle. They don't seem like they want to move out of the way. Oh god, shark sphere. Coming out from behind the pumpkin carriage, a shark plushie charges straight at the sheep. Seeing the shark plushie, the sheep lose it and start running all over the place for dear life, clearing the path ahead. Everything in the forest is trying to help in its own way. You arrive at the spire before you know it. Crimson vines stretch the length of the age-worn spire. Standing in the shades the sun can never reach, the spire is redolent of an ominous wooden nail driven deep in the blood-red ground. When seen from a different angle, however, it seems like the hand of someone that's reaching out from the depths of a mud puddle yearning for salvation. The dusty door creaks as Liv and you push it open. In the air lit up by the faint light that comes in through the door, the dust seems to be greeting you as it tries to tell you just how long forgotten this place is. The spiral staircase stretches towards different ends, upward until it seems to become one with the spire itself, and downward until it reaches well into the depths of the darkness.
指挥官，我会阻止先帝瑞拉小姐口中的怪物，不会让她伤害到你。
Liv turns around and says as she makes her way up the staircase with red thorns all over it. And I will go and save your trapped dreams. You speak in response to Liv as you take a step forward down the stone staircase that stretches into darkness underground. You both know exactly what you came here to do. Liv makes her way up the stairs, succumbing to the darkness that robs her of her sense of direction and monotonous footsteps that blur her sense of time. In a trance, she seems to hear people whispering. It's a conversation she has with Hippocrates when she wakes up.
教授，有些事情我想请教你。是关于深度思维链接。我想知道，它会对指挥官造成什么样的影响？
如果你是想问你的指挥官和你进行深度思维链接后，会不会和你一样遭遇隐痛或者死亡幻觉的话，我可以很肯定地告诉你，不会。这项技术对你症状的治疗原理，并非是将你的隐痛分配出去，而是借助思维信标的深度链接，将你的意识稳定下来，就像漂浮在海面的船，当风浪掀起时。 如果随浪摇摆的话，船的内部也会一团糟吧。但是如果有了锚，那么就算风浪依然存在，船也能稳定下来。不过，虽然思维深度链接并不会造成伤害，但是在改进它的过程中， 我们需要让你的指挥官多次对意识海进行深潜以收集数据。这个过程中，那些隐痛与死亡幻觉，是可能对那家伙造成切实伤害的，就像上次那样。怎么样？要叫停这个计划吗？在没有后路可退之前。
You press forward, all the while keeping your eyes straight ahead. The air around you grows colder, still the further down you walk. The sunlight out there can never reach this part of the spire. Even with a torchlight in hand, you can still barely see the path as you make your way down the broken stone staircase. Right then, you see light coming through a crack in the bricks up ahead. Am I here already? When you go up for a closer look, however, all you see is the faint figure of a person from behind. With a closer look, you see it now very clearly. Very clearly. The person is wearing a school uniform. The logo on which you can't be more familiar with is the logo of FOS. With the realization, the light suddenly becomes so intense that it robs you of consciousness. What was it that you were going to do again? Standing in the instructor's office of an FOS, you see an old man sitting in front of you with a straight face.
我不会干涉你的选择，但作为教官，我需要知道你这么做的理由。
Right, this is about what I'm going to do after graduating.
为什么拒绝了指挥部的邀请，而申请了前线执行部队指挥官的名额？
The shrewd eyes staring right at you now are the same eyes that have been watching every single student since you entered the school. Hey, this is from the beginning of the story. Nice. This is from the dream. You sense neither encouragement nor discontent from his tone, but solemnness and gravity. There is no doubt that those eyes will see right through any petty lies and excuses you come up with. Because I want to become part of the hope. To pull this world back from the brink of despair. This was your answer then. Back then, a list of big names popped into your mind. You knew those names. You knew those names by heart, but it wasn't so much that you could write their names down on tests because they were people you deeply admired. The words people praised these big names with had such nice rings to them. Back when you still didn't know how big the names got to where they were. How the big names got to where they were. Now, though, the big names, alive and active as they were, are now nothing more than strings of letters inscribed on monuments. Earth is still a mess, and most of their early accomplishments have been destroyed overnight. Can you still confidently say what you did back then? After knowing the truth, that is?
指挥官知道这件事吗？
那家伙当然知道，然后毫不犹豫的就在同意书上签字了。
教授，您说构造体的意识和指挥官的思维信标，就像船和船锚的关系吧？就像锚可以让船安然度过风暴一样，船也可以承载锚驶向远方。指挥官说过，危险和担忧不应该阻碍前进的脚步。我们抱团取暖。 不是为了畏缩不前，而是为了走得更远。能够接住这样可以给予毫无保留的信任的元首，是一种幸福。
Looking up, Liv now has a much clearer view of what's in front of her. Scarlet crystal clusters, crimson tidewater, and blood red soil, all of which have come together to fill the air with tension. It hit her only just now that she had arrived at where she set out to come, with the crimson plants lying quietly in hunger behind her. Not so far away, a blood-red figure stands surrounded by monsters that seem to have made their way out of someone's worst nightmares. Hey, yo. Because I wanted to become a part of the hope, so I can pull this world back from the brink of despair. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Giga Chad Commandant. Let's go. Saying nothing, the old man before you seems to be waiting for you to explain yourself. I understand that none of the miracles happened as easily as they seemed to. Every step along the way was trial and error in the dark. A single wrong step sent some of them down an abyss from which they never returned, leaving their successors with nothing but the knowledge that whatever they did didn't work. And they even fought sometimes and went separate ways. But even then, the wise strained their wisdom to every last strand of their beings. Some of them even ended up having their souls and dignity burned out. The Sidious worked day and night to fight for a place, to persist in a place that was anything but favorable. The brave soldier dawned in the face of failing, to build a line of defense with their very own blood and flesh. All these flash past you like a stream. These people who are just like you, are the reason you could speak as unwaveringly as you do now. If anything, reality has made your dreams stronger and more lucid than ever.
你是想说你是勇者？请注意场合，我们现在并不是在讨论睡前故事。你有没有考虑过，在其他位置，你或许能发挥更大的作用？
The instructors, I believe, are the ones that made me believe I'm one of the brave. Graduating summa cum laude makes it easier for me to makes it easier for me to make it straight to the field command. But FOS was established in the first place to train commandants.
正因为我们认同你的指挥能力，所以才会设置这样的区别。
Most of you sitting here today will eventually be mere numbers on battle reports down the road. And if you don't experience what they do, you'll never be able to understand the meaning the numbers hold. And we didn't come together to make everyone suffer for their mistakes we make as a group. This is what you said on day 1, instructor. I've been keeping those words close to my heart.
你了解过前线指挥官的平均寿命？
I'll keep rolling until I get my pension.
你要清楚，一旦决定，就再也没有反悔的可能。
I think I can tell you very clearly now that Yo, the memories. I've never regretted choosing this path. Yeah, boy! Giga Chad! Giga Chad Commandant, bro! Giga Chad! All the memories, bro. Man remembers the memories. What a Giga Chad!
你可以离开了。
You can show yourself the door now. His tone is as rock hard as ever. Old but powerful. A pair of hands gives you a light push from behind. You reach the end of the road. Right behind you, debris falls off the broken staircase, finally making the sound of landing on the ground after what seems like an eternity. Through the crack in the bricks, you seem to see her. Liv, I promised to save you.
因为我答应过，会保护好指挥官。
And I'm here. And here I am, making my promise count.
所以，我现在就来实现诺言。
Let's go. Let's
一
clap
切
them.
灾厄都
Let's
将
clap
伴随我
'em.
回归于虚无。
Come on, bro. Come on. Man, it's a double tap, bro. Fuck. Really? It's a double tap system? Ah, whatever. Bro, the effects on the skin are insane. Let's go. Oh, unknown data cluster time. Boss time. Oh god. What's going on? Oh boy. Really? Damn, it's clapping us, huh? The corruption has evoked the pain in the mind. Pierced the depth of her heart. The mind that we now have what it takes to press forward dreams and out of this shelter. Not to mention you have someone right next to you who's willing to go the distance. This is commanded. It's already worked. Sorry, it's going too fast. I can barely read it. I'm sorry. Welcome back. Oh, yo, alt? Oh, auto alt? Hey, yo. Let's go. Yo, this is awesome. Yo, this is sick. Yo, that was sick. Bro, I love that auto alt, man. That was crazy. It's been so long since anyone set foot in the cell down at the bottom of the spire that even the dust in the air have grown stagnant. Closing her eyes, the shard of soul sits quietly in the ruins. With her wings torn to pieces, she is no longer able to fly. Everything about her in the place is stagnant, so much so that even her heartbeat is barely palpable. She's been left alone in the corner of memory, and seemed destined to remain so for the rest of eternity. Things, however, seem a little different today. In her head, she doesn't see the same endless nightmares anymore, but a young student speaking with an old instructor. What are they talking about, and why does she find it all strangely familiar? Yo. Slowly, she's drawn toward it ever so slowly, all the while taking care not to destroy this rare sight of an illusion. With a pair of determined and sincere eyes, the young student stands unfazed. That alone is already enough to make her feel safe. Bang, bang, bang. That doesn't sound like a heartbeat. With the bangs, the illusion vanishes. Someone is trying to break this cage from the outside, sending a rainfall of dust down from the rotten bricks above. Bang! Let's go! And the brick's now broken, though through the hole comes a hand with fresh scars. Yo, this presentation is amazing. There's no way the light of day can ever make it down to this part of the spire, and the torch in hand has stopped working. Even so, the two of them can still see each other clearly. Ooh, animated? Live 2D? Yo! With their similar lights that shone through their souls and even outshine the dark of the night. Yo, I love that this is live 2D. Very nice touch. Very nice touch. Words are spoken to her, but she can't hear them clearly. Sometimes the heart needs no language to communicate. As their hands touch, the cold cell disappears in the blink of an eye. She's deep in a warm embrace. Everything around her seems to be crumbling, and with it, she feels as though she's falling down at the same time she's floating up through the air. The nightmare is over. Let's go. Falling no more, you now feel what feels like the world's softest mattress against your back. You thought it was the safety trigger that pulled you out of the forest and the mine diving chamber in the lab. The floor A floral aroma lingering by, however, seems to be telling you that you could be wrong. You open your eyes and slowly rise to your feet, all the while unable to look away from the petals in the wind that guide your attention in a certain direction. Standing next to you, a dark green figure looks at you gently. Did you get rid of the contamination too?
多亏了指挥官，
Why didn't you wake me up?
因为这里很安全，指挥官也需要休息一下。
She's so sweet.
而且，
Putting a hand on her chest, Liv seems to be listening to what her heart wills. She doesn't finish her sentence, but dancing petals all around her seem to betray her mind. And finally, deciding that she's going to shun no more, she looks up and sees straight into your eyes.
花朵、树木、阳光，这些都让我感到美好和安心。
Yes, I know that.
这里的景色并不能长留，再过不久，或许我们就会被唤醒。
True.
但是我真的很想。
With a wishful smile on her face, her voice cracks a little.
真的很想和指挥官在这里多停留片刻。
Aw, that's cute. And she's blushing a little bit too.
再也不用看着你负重前行的背影，再也不用看到你增添新的伤痕，再也不用和你面临可能的离别。彼此的温度与心跳是那么的清晰，让
Liv.
我明白，这只是幻影，但也是我不会再舍弃的未来。
Bro, that art is amazing and beautiful, dude. That art is beautiful. I love the color contrast, the use of color and contrast, and dude, the art is amazing. Liv bares her soul and pours her heart out. You, however, can't tell if it's the doing of the mind shard, or if she's only finding it easier to do since you're in her subconscious mind. With the petals swirling up to the breeze, the girl raises a question.
指挥官，你会喜欢这里的景色吗？
Very much. Hearing your words and breaking into a smile, she carries on.
指挥官喜欢的是哪些部分呢？
I like how quiet it is here. The cozy sunlight filters through the swaying treetops and shines upon the dancing dust. The grass under you feels ever so soft as it lifts you up to preserve the tranquility in the air. Save for the bird cries that travel far and wide, there's not a single sound here. This place is exactly as Liv said. Without gunshots or ear-splitting alarms, this place is so quiet that you can hear her heartbeat and breath. The breezes that come by every now and then are messengers with messages from afar. I can totally picture myself living here when I retire, you say as you give Liv a positive nod. Little did you know, however, that Liv would take your jokes so seriously.
如果指挥官将来想要在这里养老的话，可以考虑在空旷的地方建一座木屋。倒是可以就地取材，但是还要注意防腐的问题。为了生活方便的话，一些必备的发电设施也不能少。
Liv? Seeing her all excited about coming up with the plans for your retirement, you aren't quite sure if you want to cut her off. And before you know it, Liv seems to have already finished planning your living room.
指挥官，宠物的话，你会更喜欢哪种呢？
While the question hits you as baffling, Liv seems to have a difficult time making up her mind.
我的话更喜欢绵羊， 但是仓鼠也不错呢。如果可以的话，我还想在花园里养一些蝴蝶。
Bro, they really be setting up Liv to be. Bro, they really do be setting up Liv as a wifey in this one, bro. What the hell? They really do be setting her up as a wifey, bro. As a top tier waifu, bro. They really be setting her up as like Commandant's wife, bro.
到了太阳快下山时，和指挥官露西亚还有李先生4个人一起去花园里散步，身边是蝴蝶和夕阳在环绕。
Also, the music is so good in this. I love it. Love the electronic keyboard. You know, that keyboard that's sort of more that you hear more in like disco/funk/jazz type of keyboard piano. I love that. I love that addition to the track. I love it. I also love how the rhythm, tempo, BPM of the track in general with a slow guitar really helps set the mood. I love it. Wow, I see you're way ahead of the game. Opening your mouth, wanting to cut Liv off, you decide to hold them back, seeing her as happy as she is. You see no reason to cut off her dream when she's still moving forward.
可以的话，也想试试种些蔬菜。
You aren't just going to grow everything yourself, are you? Half giving up, you decide to hop in. While the clock is fast ticking away on the sea of flowers, you know that the future all of you dream of is quickly coming your way too. You see the white light in the lab when you open your eyes, a sign that you're back in reality.
指挥官，
Turning your head, you see Liv just a few many meters away, who seems to come to just a few moments before you.
指挥官也醒过来了，没有污染的迹象。
这边正在同步进行意识海的修复与交互数据的分析。
数据的有效率怎么样？
我还在统计。
Asimov's hands swish a mile a second over the device before him as he speaks. He sending all sorts of charts and codes flying across the screen. You can see a progress bar making progress on the screen. While strings of data are collected, multiple analysis reports popped out. When the progress bar finally reaches the end, a window pops out. Ignoring the overly lengthy report itself, you train your eyes straight at the short line at the very bottom, matching expectation.
数据的有效率高于预期值，可以开始筹备接下来的实验了。
Which means
也就是说，你们接下来一段时间将要面临近乎无休止的模拟实验。在深度链接技术改进完成前，不能再以任何理由离开空中花园。
Hippocrates shoots both you and Liv a threatening look when she finishes speaking.
明白了吗？
Of course.
明白。
当然，在这之后，你们就能正常行动了。不过也不要落下定期检查哦。
Right then, your terminal buzzes. Lucia is calling. She seems to be calling a little earlier today than usual.
指挥官，是露西亚他们吗？
Yep.
教授，
这里已经没有什么事了，你们可以先离开。
在完成改进后，就不用再隔着屏幕与露西亚他们交流了吧？
Yes, and I'm sure that day is coming soon. Dreams can be a heavy burden when you face reality. You can feel something soft and gentle against you.
指挥官，我们回去吧。
All right. But don't ever fear all the good things the world has to offer and throw your dreams away. As long as the light in your soul still shines through, you're bound to attract your kind through the long night. Because when you no longer have to trek through the night alone, dreams will no longer be a heavy burden, but wings of hope. Ah, dude, that was so good. Man, I love that story. I won't lie, I really liked it. Honestly, all the coding stories so far that I've read have honestly been phenomenal. All of them have been phenomenal. Lucia's coding story has been phenomenal. This coding story has been phenomenal. I also like the cub story as well, like Rosetta's cub, I believe. Yeah, I also love that story as well. But honestly, for Liv's coding story, the presentation of it was just a step above, man. They really stepped up the presentation for this, and I love it. They really pulled out all the stops. Voice dialogue, live 2D art, cinematic, almost cinematic boss fights, kind of. You know? Also, it is also, and also continuing sort of making it, you know, making in character, writing characters correctly, and, you know, making it in character, you know? And really showcasing how good the skin is. And they really did, and I really do think that this story did help sell this skin to me even more, and help me appreciate this skin even more, I feel like. And I really like that. Because honestly, PGR's writing, ever since, I would say, Fallen Star, has just upped itself tenfold each time. And I love it. Yeah, I think the music was also good. The new music, all the music was also, music usage in this was also very good. I liked it. I like the musical usage. The musical usage really fit the tone of the moments really well as too, and I love that. And the musical compositions were really good as well. Very good variety with the musical compositions as well. Like, with those soft, soft, cool, relaxing moments, personal, intimate moments. I love that the track was very calm and sweet and mellow. Especially that track when we were in the flower field near the end with Liv after the boss fight. That track there was also phenomenal. I loved it. Even though it was like a small loop, it was still a very good sample loop of a song. I really love that. Anyways, I guess that's it for the story. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it reading it with me, and also enjoying the first time of me hearing the CN dub as well. So hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and remember to stay humble and be kind to people. And I'll see you guys later.